Much better. The sun is murder today. I swear, Clank, I'm done with all that hero stuff. Now, let somebody else save the universe. I need a little me time.
If there is trouble, then it is our duty to ensure that...
What'd you do that for? Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm taking pictures for my school project. I'm doing a report on heroes, and I recognize you from the newspaper. You're Ratchet, right?
Well, I see you have a knack for recognizing greatness.
I was wondering if it would be possible to get some pictures of you doing some heroic action.
Well, I would, but there's really not much heroic work to do around here. Oh, I can lift Clank over my head, though. How about that?
I was thinking maybe you could fight some robots or something. I know where you could find them.
I do have a massage scheduled in 15 minutes, but... Oh, what the heck. I could use a bit of exercise. Come on, buddy. Let's put on a good show for our little reporter here.
I am going to regret this.
Ratchet & Clank Size Matters was developed by High Impact Games in 2007 for the PlayStation Portable, and it was brought over to the PlayStation 2 in 2008. High Impact Games was founded in 2003 by ex-Naughty Dog and Insomniac staff, and this was actually their first game. Interesting piece of history for you all here, but in Japan this game is actually known as Ratchet & Clank 4, as it follows our dynamic duo after the events of the original Ratchet & Clank trilogy on the PS2. Over the next couple of weeks we'll be taking a look at the 3 big PSP games they released, starting with their first one, Size Matters, before moving on to Secret Agent Clank, and ending off with Jak and Daxter: The Lost Frontier. So sit back and enjoy. Ratchet & Clank Size Matters proved one thing from the get-go. It is indeed possible to have a console-like experience on a portable. Size Matters retains the series' humor, action, and graphical prowess. It's just as much fun to play on the PSP as the rest of the series was to play on the PS2. Sure, there are a few shortcomings considering the PSP is missing a second analog stick, but High Impact Games has done a superb job with the hardware on hand, and the game was built from the ground up for the PlayStation Portable. Like pretty much all of the Ratchet & Clank games, Size Matters features a fairly wacky storyline. While on vacation, Ratchet & Clank meet a young girl named Luna. She's heard about the duo before, as has everyone, and she wants to take a picture while they do something heroic. Shortly thereafter, Luna gets kidnapped and the story begins. As they begin to investigate the girl's kidnapping, they stumble across a race of microscopic creatures, which eventually leads them to some rather surprising revelations. All the humor you've come to expect from the likes of Captain Quark and Clank remains faithfully intact. The gameplay is broken up almost exactly like the PlayStation 2 iterations. You play through semi-linear levels using the powers of both Ratchet and Clank. You begin with only a few weapons, but in time you'll acquire a powerful arsenal. Many fan-favorite weapons make an appearance here, as well as some rather impressive new ones. All of the weapons can be upgraded by using them more frequently. As the weapons level up, they become more and more powerful, so this is the same old stuff that you're used to if you're a longtime fan of the series. Like the other games in the series, Size Matters also features some exploration elements. Astute players will be able to locate life points, special orbs, unique bolts, unique armor, and so much more. Armor is very important in Size Matters because it allows Ratchet's wrench to gain unique powers. If you can find a helmet, boots, and gloves of the same type, you can enhance Ratchet's wrench with the power of ice, fire, etc. One area that High Impact Games needed to tweak were the controls. As I already mentioned earlier, the PSP lacks a second analog stick and 2 shoulder buttons. So the camera is controlled by using the L and R buttons. You can also strafe using the D-pad, which is recommended as it makes the game feel that much closer to that of the rest of the series. It does take some getting used to, but it works. The only time you'll have problems is when there are a large amount of enemies circling you, in which case you'll oftentimes find yourself firing directly into the screen because you can't see the enemies behind you. Size Matters is one of the prettiest looking games on the PSP. At times it looks just as good as the original Ratchet & Clank on the PlayStation 2. Certainly some areas look better than others, but overall the game has a really nice coat of paint. Like the previous iterations of the series, Size Matters features some great voice acting and superb music. The sound effects are mostly rehashed from the PlayStation 2 games. If you have a PSP and are looking for an excellent playing, looking, and sounding video game, this is one to pick up. It can be had for just a few bucks these days on UMD, and it's available on the PlayStation Network for $10 US, and it works on the Vita, where you can actually map the right analog stick to the L and R buttons, and it plays very similarly to the PS2 Ratchet & Clank games. And believe me, it makes quite a big difference, and the game is overall held up very nicely. With that, I'll end off by saying we'll see you next week with a look at Secret Agent Clank.
Wow, that was super! I can't wait to show everyone the pictures.
Quark?
Clank! What a coincidence! What are you doing here?
I am trailing Ratchet and Clank to see what they are doing, so I can join in on their next adventure.
Hey, that's what I'm doing! No, wait,
Do you not have somewhere else to go? Home to your family, perhaps?
Hey, Quark. Nice hat. Sorry, Quark. What? Was that your mother's hat or something? Seriously, dude. It's just a hat.
It's not that. It's my mother and father. I never knew my family. I was given up for adoption as a baby and was raised by monkeys.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
Perhaps you should attempt to find your real parents.
There she is. Get her.
Looks like I'm gonna be late for my massage. Let's go.